Welcome back, everyone. We're here today on our Training Thursday episode 2358 of the Cabral Concept. If you want to head on over, check out all the takeaways for today's show, as well as all the research links. Head on over to stephencabral.com/2358. And of course, don't forget to pick up your free copy of The Rain Barrel Effect if you haven't already. All right, let's get into the topic of the day. I thought this would be a really interesting one for our community, and that is because science is getting closer to providing all the benefits of exercise in a pill, or at least that's what they say. So the study is actually called an exercise-inducible metabolite that suppresses feeding and obesity. So basically, helping to curb hunger, lower body weight, and mimic exercise, so they say, in a pill. So this is recent news. Just 2 weeks ago, it came out. Again, I'll link it up. It's right out of Baylor College of Medicine. And this is the summary, and I'll read you the whole story. It's very short. Researchers have identified a molecule in the blood that is produced during exercise and can effectively reduce food intake and obesity in mice. So basically, the benefits, I'm using that in air quotes if you're watching this on video, because as I will share with you after I read the study, is that I'm not sure that all the benefits are being taken into account. But again, let's talk about that in just a moment. So here's the excerpt. Researchers at Baylor College of Medicine, Stanford School of Medicine, and collaborating institutions report today in the journal Nature that they have identified a molecule in the blood that is produced during exercise and can effectively reduce food intake and obesity in mice. The findings improve our understanding of the physiological processes that underlie the interplay between exercise and hunger. Regular exercise has been proven to help weight loss, regulate appetite, and improve the metabolic profile, especially for people who are overweight and obese, said co-corresponding author Dr. Zhu, professor of pediatrics, nutrition, and molecular and cellular biology at Baylor. If we can understand the mechanism by which exercise triggers these benefits, then we are closer to helping many people improve their health. Hold on to that word right there, okay? Closer to improving their health. Let's hold on to that. Now let me get back to the article. We want to understand how exercise works at the molecular level to be able to capture some of its benefits. Let's go on here. For example, older or frail people who cannot exercise enough may one day benefit from taking a medication that can help slow down osteoporosis, heart disease, and other conditions. All right, let's go back. It is synthesized from lactate, a byproduct of strenuous exercise that is responsible for the burning sensation of muscles, and phenylalanine, an amino acid that is one of the building blocks of proteins. Okay, this is from the plasma they took from having mice sprint on a treadmill. All right, in mice with diet-induced obesity, they were fed a high-fat diet, a high dose of Lact-Phe, PHE, suppressed food intake by about 50% compared to the control mice over a period of 12 hours without affecting their movement or energy expenditure. When administered to the mice for 10 days, Lact-Phe reduced cumulative food intake and body weight, owing to loss of body fat and improved glucose tolerance. Almost finished here. Let's see here. Interestingly, the team also found robust elevations in plasma Lact-Phe levels following physical activity in racehorses and humans. Data from a human exercise cohort showed that sprint exercise induced the most dramatic increase in plasma Lact-Phe, followed by resistance training and then endurance training. This suggests that Lact-Phe, I'm apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, is an ancient and conserved system that regulates feeding and is associated with physical activity in many animal species. Our next steps include finding more details about how Lact-Phe mediates its effects in the body, including the brain. Our goal is to learn to modulate this exercise pathway for therapeutic interventions. All right. So again, I commend science in general. I commend these studies. I think the work is worthwhile, and I love to see it. What I found interesting, I want to share with this right out of the gates, is that we can always, again, this article published in Nature, this study, it didn't really think to say, because it's not studying like, well, what the best form of exercise is potentially for glucose metabolism or fat loss or reducing hunger. But they told us sprinting, Sprinting means going all out as fast as you can for essentially under 60 seconds. I have many shows on, I would definitely check out my show on sprint interval training. It's different than high intensity interval training, and very, very interesting right there. So we've been doing it for many years in our practice on a Airdyne bike or a Schwinn Airdyne bike or a Rogue Airdyne bike, and you're just sprinting as fast as you can. So you're really going as fast as you can for a very short period of time. And that is obviously having a great effect on the body. And this is one more reason why. Now, the other one is resistance training. Really interesting, right? So that's working out with weights. And that is typically in a Metcon style workout or a HIIT workout. If you don't know what those are, we'll link up those podcasts as well at stephencabral.com/2358 for today's show. And the last one was endurance. So not as much with just going out for a jog. So again, important, but just not as much. All right. So now let's get back to it. So they're basically looking at the benefits of exercise for reducing, let's say, overall hunger and for modulating hunger, I would say, normalizing it, because normalizing maybe blood sugar here, and improving obesity, okay? So all of those things are good because we know that dysregulated, or let's just say this, if you're more than really 20, 30 pounds above your ideal body weight, and I'm not talking about super thin, I'm not talking about, six-pack abs, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a healthy body weight, that's it. But if you're 20, 30 pounds above that, your chances for cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cancer go way up. I mean, way up. And the loss of life reduction, not even talking about quality of life, but it's about a decade, you could easily say. So if we can improve just obesity, well, then we're coming a long way, especially since more than 2/3 now of adult Americans are overweight and more than 33%, or I should say obese, and more than about 25 to 30% of all children. So I think that this is worthwhile. I think it's important. What I think is getting away from us is the fact that exercise modulates health more so than just with weight and with hunger. So it's really important to understand that moving your body is a big part of this equation that you're not going to be able to get in just a pill. And the reason is, let's just start with the lymphatic system. Your lymph, it's fluid in your body that, let's think about it as cleaning the body. All right. It literally takes cellular debris. It takes viruses. It takes pathogens. It moves them through lymph nodes and it gets the waste out of the body through the greater thoracic duct, through the liver, and out of the body through bowel movements. So really important that we understand that only moves when we move. All right. Really important to look at that. Cardiovascular system is a big part of our overall health. It flows to a greater degree and circulation improves, and same with oxygenation of the red blood cells when we actually move. And that's through exercise. That's a big part through exercise. So I don't want to overlook that as well because they're looking for cardiovascular benefits too. So the next one is the immune system. All right, the immune system is actually modulated with exercise. Too much exercise weakens the immune system. Too little exercise weakens the immune system. The right amount of exercise actually boosts and improves the immune system. Mitochondria. A vigorous workout will actually help to produce more mitochondria. You might say, well, why do I need more mitochondria? Well, our mitochondria begin to weaken as we age. We have less of them. If we have less of them, we have less endurance. We don't have as much energy to produce because they produce something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, that gives us energy, that gives us strength, that gives us the ability to be able to move our body, lift heavy things, and feel young. It's a big part of it. So again, biological age. Mitochondria play a huge role in biological age. But again, so do white blood cells. White cells are modulated as well by exercise. And you could even say to a degree, telomerase or your telomere length, which helps, or at least has been indicated as one of the big 8 for longevity. So if you're looking at, your longevity, if you're looking at telomere length, well, exercise is a part of that. Cardiovascular exercise is a big part of improving telomere length, but all forms of exercise can help as long as, again, we're not overdoing it. Another benefit of our exercise routine is also helping with circadian rhythm. If you exercise during the day, you expend energy during the day, you're more likely to get better, improved sleep at night. Again, as long as you're not overdoing it. One more I want to say is this, is just because we know that inflammation is a part of 90% of all diseases out there. And again, I would say, what's the disease? What's the disease of the body that inflammation isn't implicated in? Because I would likely say that it's 99%. And so the thing is this, again, overdoing exercise causes too much inflammation. Underdoing exercise causes more inflammation. It's that sweet spot of allowing your body to exercise with weights as well as with cardio, and sprinting would probably be considered more of the resistance training because you're pushing the body in an anaerobic capacity. It is actually going to benefit inflammation. The reason is that it's helping to modulate the inflammatory pathways. I won't get into that on today's show, but certainly we could talk about that on another show. So while I commend science and scientific research for moving in this direction, of course, helping with obesity, that would be a benefit. Just looking at this to help the elderly people, to quote the study, is not going to help. And the reason is that unless we're working again on the food suppression and the obesity, I'm not sure that the elderly are going to get the osteoporosis benefit when oftentimes it's the actual pressure, it's the weight, it's the force on the actual bones that are helping to stave off osteoporosis. It's not the only thing, of course. Cortisol has to do with it. pH levels modulated through electrolytes in the body have to do with it, and much more. So what I would say is, while I love this research, I think it's great. I think we need to stop aggrandizing scientific research that we could one day replace something so vital to the human body, such as human movement. So again, I'm not an advocate of overdoing it, but I am an advocate of 2 to 3 times a week for strength training, lifting weights. Body weight's okay, there's no doubt about it, but usually it's good to have some weights in there because it's really difficult for most people to work the entire back of the body with no weights. You can do it, but it's not as easier to work the front of the body. But again, it could be bands, it could be dumbbells, it could be kettlebells, it could be whatever you like. And then a few times a week for cardiovascular work as well. I'm not talking about a lot. I'm talking about finding 30 minutes in your day. That's really what it's all about. 30 minutes in your day to move your body. And then that can be included with your 10,000 steps per day. So your goal is to get to 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day, and then to begin to work your way up. I have a whole podcast on working your way up from walking, then to some cardio, then to some body weight training. So if you want to check that out, we'll link that up today as well. That's called Graduated Exercise Programming. And that's at stephencabral.com/2358. That is today's show notes page. I will link up today's study. And what will I also do? I'll link up to those previous podcasts and give you the 3 big takeaways from today's show at stephencabral.com/2358. We're going to keep it a short one for today. Hopefully this was helpful. I would love to hear your comments. Do you think this is a good thing? Comment below. Do you want to see exercise in a pill, or do you think that is going to shortchange people in the long run because they're not going to get all these other benefits as well? Would love to hear your thoughts. Would love to hear your opinions. Take care, everyone. And of course, always feel free to share the show with anyone you believe it could serve.